Mandalorian Chapter 5 out. You can stream it. Wait, Chapter 5 or 6? 6.
We're on 6.
Chapter 6. We did 5 last week. Chapter 6, Mandalorian. I'm not going to restart. It says in the title.
Yeah, come on. You guys
know where you're at.
This is, I will say, probably the biggest Easter eggy, fan servicey overall episode that we've gotten yet. A big-time adventure episode. Smaller scale in terms of the mission, kind of a side quest, but this goes right back to the idea with The Mandalorian that this show is more about kind of the smaller things that happen that progress the overall grand scheme of the plot. I liked it. I enjoyed it off the top. I thought this was a very fun episode. And again, exactly what I want to see with Star Wars. Nothing too big. No big, crazy, world-ending space battle. This is the small-scale type of thing that I want to see. Advance the plot a little bit. Very much enjoyed it.
I'll be honest, I didn't love it.
Really?
I don't say that often about things,
you don't.
Related to Star Wars. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I just didn't love it. We'll get to the specifics of it later, but there were a few actors in this that every line they muttered, I was just like, oh, you just took me out of the scene because you're not doing a great job there. Or maybe it was the dialogue, maybe it was the way things were shot. I don't know what it was about it. This was definitely my least favorite episode of The Mandalorian so far. But I still enjoyed it because it's Star Wars, so come on.
I didn't love it, but I think liked it more than Robbie. I still think the last episode is my least favorite. Okay. But overall, I do think it was fun. Once I saw that we were heading into Tatooine, I was like, oh no, we're going back to Mos Eisley. We're going to get a lot of fan service. It might take me out of the moment and all that. But I think they did a really good job of balancing that with actually having a pretty decent plot.
I do think for the most part they handled that well.
Because they could have really lost.
Went overboard.
I was worried. Yeah, I was worried we were about to hear that. Oh, we don't need to hear that.
But I have seen people split. I've seen people very split in this episode, where last week people either loved it or they're like, not the best. This one, the same thing. Either loved it, thought it was the best, or like, not my favorite yet so far.
Yeah, I just wasn't the biggest fan.
Yeah. This is a Filoni episode, too.
Yeah.
He directed,
Has a very big Rebels and
completely, yeah.
Huge feel.
You can tell Filoni directed this one. Let's get it right into Easter eggs. Off the top, the biggest one, for the first time since Revenge of the Sith, we see Mos Eisley, or excuse me, we see Tatooine. So we see Tatooine and Mos Eisley right off the top. You can kind of tell that's where they're going to go. And then he says that they say Mos Eisley Tower, the Mandalorian landing with Baby Yoda. Something happens before that. We'll get to that when we break down the episode. But he lands on Tatooine, Mos Eisley Spaceport. We haven't seen Mos Eisley Spaceport since, I believe...
A New Hope, right?
A Return of the Jedi, because we would have seen it at the end celebration.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
So if you're a purist... and you don't watch the special editions, you haven't seen it since A New Hope, but in A New Hope you see, or excuse me, in Return of the Jedi when George went back and made the changes, you see a celebration scene at the end. But this is the first real time we've seen scenes take place in Mos Eisley since Return of the Jedi. There might have been a little bit...
Did they dock there in clones?
No, I don't know if they dock there in clones, but... Attack of the Clones?
Attack of the Clones, yeah.
No, they reference it in Attack of the Clones. I don't believe they dock there in Attack of the Clones.
No,
I know Mos Eisley gets referenced, though. But we haven't seen Mos Eisley this physical since Return of the Jedi, even more so since A New Hope, and then overall we haven't seen Tatooine since Revenge of the Sith at the end.
It was cool seeing this obviously legendary Star Wars legacy-esque planet in post-Empire times. I will say that. We've been saying forever, we even said, me and Clem on my podcast said, like, we really don't need to go back to Tatooine. Like, it's crazy how much happens on Tatooine. I thought this show was on Tatooine when it started. But I think they handled it well, and the spaceport was actually the thing that like got me the most about Tatooine for some reason. When the ship was like landing, and it was almost a Falcon-esque shot.
It was the same kind of look and shot of Mos Eisley that we see for when Obi-Wan and Luke are looking over.
Yes,
he's explaining scum and villainry and all that shit. And it almost had that matte painting feel to it. I feel like they tried to make it as similar to the original. And when we first saw Mos Eisley in A New Hope, the binary suns, we see the two suns.
I think is that the first time that is this the first time they found out that the planet they were on the original part was Navarro?
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah, David Navarro's planet, I guess.
Yeah. We'll get to the planet because that's a big plot point in the episode, a big key at the end there that's uttered by one of the new characters. But yeah, we get the twin suns. We've seen the twin suns many times in Star Wars. Nothing too crazy. They talk about the suns rising though.
Yeah,
that's kind of cool to hear them say like. And I don't know why it's like one of the first times I've thought about like two suns rising. Man, it's a fucking hot planet. Like I know it's a hot desert planet, but like God, that planet.
Binary Sunset, one of the best soundtracks.
Miserable fucking planet to be on. They land. Mando lands in Docking Bay 25. The Millennium Falcon famously lands in Docking Bay 94. So not the same one.
Nope.
Not the same one. They see
that's good.
That's good. That's too much.
Bit much, but they land in a docking bay. Again, haven't seen that in a while. The Razor Crest and the ship he's fighting in the beginning of the episode, we see one of those old computer readouts, right, that we see from the originals when they're dogfighting and trying to line up and shoot each other. Cool to see the computer readouts. We also see for the first time since the prequels pit droids.
I love these.
I loved them.
Yeah, we see
As soon as I saw those, I went crazy.
stupid fucking eye droids. Anakin yelling, "Hit him in the eye!"
Hit him in the nose.
Hit him in the nose.
Hit him in the nose.
Yeah.
The one getting sucked into the pod race and
Yes.
exploding.
Yeah, so we haven't seen
Such
pit
a
droids.
weird thing. I never expected to see him again, but
Yeah,
now that I got him, I'm like, oh, good.
Yeah.
And they look good too, because
Yes.
obviously technology has advanced a lot since we
They
last
even
saw
look
them.
decent in episode 1.
They did, but now like they look
Yeah.
very much like real
more
droids.
realistic, for sure.
So we did see the pit droids.
They
that
almost
was
look like those like Boston Robotics. Well, you know, those
Dynamics,
that always
yeah,
come out.
you
Yeah,
push
Boston
over.
Dynamics.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
they
if you
almost
push it
looked
over, it
when they were
stands
like
up.
jumping and running. Their legs were so realistic. I was like, oh damn, AI is taking over the world.
So we haven't seen the pit droids in quite a long time. That was a cool little Easter egg. The big one when we land there is they go into the cantina. Only the second time we've ever been in the cantina in Star Wars, in the main stuff. Pretty big deal because it's a long time after A New Hope, the last time we've seen it, where
35 years, something like that.
The bartender says, like,
No
we don't serve your
droids.
kind, no droids. Clearly
There's
not
a droid
problem.
there, yeah.
Droids running the fucking bar.
Yeah.
Bartenders and
Progressive
droids.
galaxy.
And it looked like one of the droids from
It
the
is.
torture droids from
It's an
Jabba's
EV
Palace.
droid.
Yeah.
It's EV. EV-99 is a droid that you will recognize from Return of the Jedi. An EV droid, both of them are the bartenders in the cantina. They're allowed to run it. Much different than old times when, again, they're
No droids.
no droids allowed, and it's
Yeah.
empty. I tell you what,
that was cool. That was
the
a cool
Empire's
choice
taken
to
away
make.
a lot of business. Well, you mentioned it. You don't hear the song. You expect because I was
I was
thinking.
terrified the band was still going
Yep,
to be on
for
stage,
sure.
and I would have
Same
been like,
here.
oh, that's way too much fan service.
I was thinking, like, are we going to even see the cantina? And then he walks up and he passes kind of that back alley where we see the dewback in the original sitting there. I'm like, oh, he's going to go in. Who's going to be playing? And then it's nothing.
Yeah,
It's
thank
a
God.
shit bar.
Would have been unreal if they did the Rogue One thing again, and they were like, I don't like you. My friend doesn't like you either.
We've been coming here.
Big Nose is still there for some
Yeah.
reason.
Come here every day for 40 fucking years.
Yeah.
So we get the cantina. We do see a droid roll up that looks recognizable. No word if it's the actual one. I will say that. R5D4. It's an R5 droid. Same color scheme as the droid with a bad motivator that blows up.
He's got the Force in the extended universe, at least.
So R5D4, if you don't know, in canon, R5 self-sabotages. R2...
in old canon.
No, current canon.
Oh, really?
R5 self-sabotages. Yes, him and R2. He wakes up. I believe.
I hate that.
All this information I reconfirmed
Oh, I
with
hate that.
with Alex Damon, who does Star Wars Explained, amazing YouTube channel if you're a
channel.
Star Wars fan. I double checked this morning. R2 was sabotaging R5. And then R5 wakes up, and I guess R2 and R5 communicate. He says, like, I have this important message I have to get across to whoever, like, is going to get to us, Obi-Wan at that point. And so R5, when Luke and Uncle Owen pick him, he self-sabotages. So that is
okay.
the R5.
That's fine.
However-
in the old canon, yeah.
Also, R5s apparently have a lot of issues anyway. It's a shit droid.
yeah, fuck that droid.
Bad
Don't be
droid, a lot of problems. Again, bad motivators.
Yeah, wasn't Chopper in R5 in Rebels, I think?
He was definitely the same shape. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
same concept,
Lots of
same
problems.
looking. I don't know if exactly was an R5. Might have been. So Luke calls him R2, by the way. This one I forgot about. Luke calls him R2, and Alex Damon Star Wars explained it that, which, by the way, he calls him R2 because he didn't have a name R5 back then.
Yeah.
They made toys and everything, but the explanation is that they call astromech droids R2, like you would call any tissue a Kleenex, right?
Yeah.
The
Oh,
brand
yeah,
is
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So, which is a funny way to explain, like, George wanted to sell toys, so they renamed it R5, but whatever. I digress. In Legends, so in stuff that is not canon, there's other stories of, like, R5 self-sabotage for other reasons, or R2 then actually went through with
And
self-sabotage.
that's where he legitimately has the Force.
Yeah, R2 in another story actually sabotaged him, went through with it, but the other one is the one where he has the Force.
Yep.
And R5 in a storyline is called Skippy the Jedi Droid. Skippy
Awesome.
escapes Jabba's palace. He's able to get the
Restraining bolt.
The restraining bolt off him. He escapes Jabba's palace, meets R2 and 3PO, and realizes that, wow, there's something bigger with the universe going on with these droids. So that is a story that has nothing to do with this. In this one, R5, again, in canon, R5 wakes up, sees R2 is trying to sabotage him, and then finally agrees, like, okay, like, I'll self-sabotage and you can go on your mission. We think this could be R5. Pretty cool callback if so. It's very, very obviously a similar droid, if not.
On purpose.
I'm going to
Yeah.
assume it's him.
If it's not him, they're trying to make you remember him.
Exactly. Yeah, there's a point to it.
So there, that's a little info on Skippy. You can go down a a long road on Skippy the Jedi droid.
On really all of Star Wars Legends, what it's called now.
Gets kind of nuts.
Legends has some cool stuff, but Skippy's an example of not cool stuff. Another character that we get introduced, Toro Calican, who is played by Jake Cannavale, son of Bobby Cannavale.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, I hated him. He was my least favorite part of the episode.
So I liked it, but we'll get to him when we talk about the episode.
Okay.
A couple things, Easter eggy there. He is sitting much like Han Solo sits when Greedo
At his
and
booth?
Han Solo
Was that
shoot.
his booth?
And it was not the booth that Han Solo was sitting in when Obi-Wan
got
and
introduced,
Luke.
right?
No, it's the booth apparently that Greedo and Han shoot each other
Yeah,
in.
that's what I mean.
Yeah. So he has the same. He's sitting in the same style. You don't like that.
No, I don't. I don't. They're comparing this guy to Han Solo all of a sudden. He did the shoots first thing. No.
He was definitely sitting like a
very cocky.
kind of a cocky,
Very cocky pose.
He
Little
everything
swagger.
about him. We'll get to it later. Just came off like he was like a character from High School Musical.
He's holding. He's got an earring.
Yeah,
He does have an earring, MJ style.
Holding a new Rebellion coin or a Republic coin, clearly the current currency in the galaxy. It was a very brief shot. You can see the Rebel insignia there. That was kind of neat. And just in general, the Cantina vibe had a very old school, like they had the big ant, right? A lot like the old like cricket praying
Freaked me out.
thing.
Yeah.
And it was a lot like the quote from Luke Skywalker, also known as Mark Hamill. I like the quote from Mark Hamill in the Star Wars documentary, which is also on Disney Plus, Empire Dreams. He said, the Cantina was disappointing when he went and shot it because he's like, there's a frog guy, a mouse girl, a giant cricket. So they kept the same vibe. That was very cool. They didn't try to like really gas it up with these new aliens. They were like, fuck it, the Cantina's weird aliens.
Yeah, it's like you go down to a bar and there's like scummy, shady characters there.
It's like a melting pot of all the shitty aliens in the universe. They all come to Mos Eisley.
Yeah, the ones that can't get any work. So Toro Calican is talking to Mando and references Jabba the Hutt. Said that the person they're going after, Fennec Shand, is the bounty, saying that she used to work for the Hutts at one point. So a little Jabba the Hutt reference.
I love that like he still has a legacy on Tatooine.
Unless
people still bring him up.
Maybe it's one of Jabba's kids because the Hutts obviously are like a dynasty. They're a dynasty.
Even just the Hutts. Yeah,
but that's
the Hutts in general.
It's not that long after when Jabba ran Tatooine. You just have to assume.
Yeah, it's just 5 years. Yeah.
I mean, Tatooine in disarray following the death of the guy who basically ran the fucking planet.
Oh, joined the Tony Soprano of
big Jimmy Hoffa. Jimmy Hoffa the Hutt.
Exactly. Yeah.
Little Irishman reference.
They then
topical.
get on swoop bikes. Swoop bikes, very cool reference. We've seen him in episode 1 and 2. Anakin rides a swoop bike
to go murder all the women and children.
to go murder people. But if you're a true Star Wars fan, the swoop bikes are a much cooler callback to Shadows of the Empire. In the game Shadows of the Empire and the book series, the comic, all that, they ride swoop bikes in that storyline. You can ride them in the game. It was very hard. A friend of our podcast, Light Camera Barstool, Mr. Sunday Movies, did a recent video on Shadows of the Empire, and he even referenced like the swoop bike part of Shadows of the Empire in N64 game. Very hard. It was, the controls sucked, but just seeing the swoop bikes in Tatooine, in Mos Eisley, were pretty awesome.
Yeah, you're a huge Shadows of the Empire.
I love Shadows of the Empire. Like, that's one of my favorite things with Star Wars.
Bikes are cool.
One of my favorite games. Yeah.
Mando did not like them.
No.
Mando was like, just like takes like a poke at it, and what do you call it? Toro's like, they're all right. They work. Or what do you expect?
The CG on them. Unbelievable.
Looked very good.
The way that they reacted and the
way they
physics
bounced.
of them.
Yeah.
The
Suspension
bounce,
on it
the
looked good.
float. Oh, so cool.
The swoop bikes are awesome. And give me any Shadows reference possible. Tusken Raiders. Seen Tusken Raiders plenty of times.
Surprised there's any left.
And yeah, I know, right?
These guys really appear out of nowhere.
And they do. They're
crazy.
They're stealthy. They're quiet.
Anakin wiped out their whole bloodline.
And I knew that they were going to be standing there. Just the way
Totally.
like, they're going to pop up. They had the binocs. Just
As
like
soon as you have the binoculars zooming in on Tatooine, it's like, all right, well, you better watch your back.
And Banthas. Interesting thing here. Mandalorian, no issue communicating with Tusken Raiders. We've never seen that.
Luckily, he didn't have to do the whole like screeching thing that they do to communicate. He just had some sort of sign language.
Yeah.
Easy.
Just
'Cause that was one of the more awkward parts of Solo, I thought, when he's speaking Wookiee back to Chewbacca. Yikes. It's tough.
Solo for another time. But I want to bring up one thing. We'll answer a question later on that somebody had. Kind of a rebuttal, not as much a rebuttal, but they're like counterpointing my point because I brought up last week how I think Obi-Wan might save Mando, and I think that Mando might be from Tatooine because he mentions Womp Rats. We have a Womp Rat reference again here.
Yeah, she uses it kind of like
as an
asshole.
insult. Yeah,
Womp
Rat.
Basically,
She's walking away. She's a Womp Rat, like under her breath.
Womp Rat's like almost scumbag, basically. That's what it seems like.
Yeah.
Douchebag, whatever.
Just calling someone a rat.
We have that reference. He knows a lot about Tatooine, knows the way around pretty fucking well. Like, no issue. Granted, bounty hunters frequent Mos Eisley and Tatooine a lot, but also, again, he has no issue communicating with Tusken Raiders. I found that very interesting.
And he knows the exact location they are. He's like, we're right here. We're in the Dune Sea.
Are they native
to
to
get
Tatooine?
The Tusken Raiders?
Yeah.
I believe so, right?
Tusken Raiders are. That was a quick cut there.
Quick cut.
Quick research cut. They are native to Tatooine. I mean, I feel like that backs up my theory even more. He knows how to communicate with them. He's got to fucking live there for a while.
Yeah, and again, like he knows the locations and everything around Tatooine, so I feel like that's a pretty big sign.
Maybe he's got one of those Google Glasses things in his helmet, though, where he can just auto-translate.
So then he couldn't talk to the Jawas.
No, you're right. Counterpoint. It's been refuted.
I will say that doesn't back up the point of Obi-Wan. Just that I do think he's from Tatooine.
Yeah.
Or spent a long time on Tatooine. It just makes... And he didn't really explain too much either. Like, he was clearly going to Tatooine. Like, that was...
Do you think? Or
unless
because in
the
the
fuel ran
dogfight,
out.
the fuel runs out, and then I thought he just went to the first planet he
I
saw.
thought that was the first one he could get to as well.
Okay, that's true. Which seems to be, again, always convenient for Star Wars. Tatooine.
Yes, of course.
Oh, yeah. Always.
Tatooine's always there.
Always
when
the
you need it.
Force.
Always
Come on,
just
the Force,
there.
brings everything together.
Yeah, it's like a gas station for the galaxy.
Dewbacks. We see dewbacks. We saw those in the original movie. In the original, we saw them, and the special edition. The special edition, they were much more CGI'd. These were very real looking. This is the closest look we've gotten with dewbacks kind of ever, at least in terms of detail.
Look legit.
Yeah, it was
I'm sure that's like some kind of game that Filoni and especially Jon Favreau are playing, where they're like, how can we make this stuff look as physical as possible, even if we have to make it physical? Like Baby Yoda's a puppet. Like, even if they want to do that, I think they're probably doing. The more they can do that, the more they want to.
I think they're very smart with that. They know that people are they didn't really vibe with the whole special effects end of it so much in like the later half of the movies, and now they're like, let's do more practical effects because people like that.
Yeah, that's the feel of Star Wars.
Even Nick Nolte's his mouth not lining up to the dialogue like that. We love as Star Wars fans.
Yes, I'm ready to get him back. We're episode 6 now.
I know.
Let's
we
get
do
him
need
back.
him back.
Time for a comeback.
I've spoken.
They mentioned the planet, so he might be back. And then a couple other quick things. Beggar's Canyon was mentioned. That's where Luke, again, just fucking bullseyes womp rats. We didn't see Beggar's Canyon, though. They talked about it, though, and I thought we might get a chance to see it. We still may, though. Still may get a chance to see Beggar's Canyon, which would be pretty cool. He does say, Mando says to, what's his name again? Calacan. Bo Calacan.
Toro Calacan.
Bo Calacan. That's the guy from the movie Draft Day.
Well, he could be like
Toro Calacan.
Bo Calacan, because Toro is bull in Spanish.
That's true. There you go. Says to I almost said Bo again. Says to Toro Calacan, she's no good to us dead, which is what Boba Fett says to Darth Vader.
That one was a little too Pitchroyd hit him on the nose for me.
It was very on the nose. And then the last one, this is the one that I think will probably be memed the most. Except for Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda's a fucking shoo-in to be memed. Baby Yoda's pretty cute this episode.
So cute. He giggled in the beginning.
Yes.
He giggled when the lights went
like
out.
touching his ear. Oh, adorable.
He says, Mandalorian to Toro, she's got the high ground. Mentioning like why we can't wait right now, why we can't attack her, why she won't leave. She's not going to escape because she has no reason to.
Wait for us to make the first move.
She has the high ground.
Pretty good stuff.
Not bad.
That's an on the nose one, but it's more of like a little cheeky like.
It's
hey,
also Filoni.
Filoni
wrote and directed this one, so it's got to be him just being like, "Oh, people are gonna love this.
They're gonna love this part."
Give me more high ground
reference.
Any high ground reference. They didn't mention sand being shitty though. That would be a fun call.
Smart.
Yeah, that would
very smart.
And he really has the perfect setup for that. Like, you could get in the crevices of his armor and his helmet or something.
All that shit. Yeah.
Ooh, maybe hold out for that. Yeah,
that best
armor's
armor.
awesome.
You can
that
take
shit's legit.
Take many snipes.
He's got such a cool look.
Yes.
Which we'll get to the character with the sniper in a second. Cameos: Rio Hackford, you might recognize from some things, including Swingers. He was the first pilot. Riot Marr, his name was. Cool. Amy Sedaris played the docking bay assistant.
Who is that?
Many things. At Home with Amy Sedaris, the show she's currently in, but also BoJack Horseman. Yep. She is the assistant for James Caan's character in Elf.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Francisco.
Strangers with Candy, she's also in. That's probably where she's first known from. Plays the character Peli Mota. She controls the docking bay. So we found out the first time someone actually controls those.
I don't know if it was her dialogue or what. Didn't love her character either. She had a few lines that completely took me out of the show, where I was just like, why would you say that? It
didn't bother me as much for her, or, again, Jake Cannavale's character. They were more, again, like kind of the goofier rebels, but I like that. So I'm okay. I get maybe not loving it.
I didn't love either of them. Just I think they maybe aren't the best Star Wars actors, or I just didn't love their performance. They didn't feel either Star Warsy or good acting. I feel like you need one or the other.
Infamously hard to deliver.
Exactly. Yeah. But fair. I think if you're going to be in a Star Wars movie, you either need to be able to deliver lines in like a Star Warsy way, or just in a good way as an actor. I don't think either of them hit that either's end of that.
It didn't bother me again because I like it. And it had that Rebels vibe, which I love, but I totally understood as we were watching. Like, I could see people not maybe vibing with this as much.
Yeah.
Very fair. Ming-Na Wen is...
Queen.
Plays Fennec Shand. Yes, known for many things. Ironically, Mulan, which just dropped the trailer for live-action Mulan. She voiced Mulan originally, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, wait, that's the original voice of Mulan?
Yeah.
Yep.
She's in the show briefly. And very briefly, we'll get their character here in a second.
And also Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. She's Melinda May.
Mm-hmm. And then Steve J. Blum, also known as Steve Blum, but I thought it was J. Blum, whatever. Regardless, he voices Zeb from Rebels. He voices the guy saying the Mos Eisley Tower operator, whatever he says in the beginning of the episode.
The Cockney accent dude.
A little Rebels.
I like that. Let's get like
Dave
Sam
Filoni.
Witwer doing some random voices here and there. Let's get Mark Hamill doing random voices here and there. Like he did a voice in The Last Jedi, that thing that burps on BB-8. Like, let's do more of that stuff. That's fun. That's easy.
All about that.
Yeah.
Reaction to the episode. Dogfight to open. Pretty cool dogfight in the beginning.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Very
I thought it
cool
was
battle. Mando wins by doing the same maneuver. Some people probably say Top Gun is very
Top Gun.
That is the Top Gun
But
maneuver.
Luke does the same maneuver in Return of the Jedi as well. He slams on the brake the speeder bike and
Gets
flies
behind
back
them
through.
and shoots the both
So
of them.
pretty cool move there. He also mocks a guy like him saying, "You want me to
That's
take
my
you in
line."
cold?" He's like, "That's my line." Yeah, fires him
Yeah, I
up.
loved he tried
So
to fire
cool.
it off as like a badass line and immediately
Old
backfired.
cool, like, Western
He wasn't
space
going to
battle.
kill him at first. He's like, I might let you live. And then as soon as he hit that line, it was over.
Yep.
I love the cold open, too. It feels like a cartoon or something.
It does, yeah.
Exactly. I was like, shit, did I miss something from the end of last episode? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh no, it's a cold.
We mentioned we wanted space, though. Bless you. We mentioned we wanted some space battles. We got a space battle.
Yeah.
I like that. Lands on Tatooine again. We mentioned much emptier Tatooine, not as festive as when we last. I mean, they were cheering at the end of Return of the Jedi. They
Yeah.
were fucking pumped.
Yeah.
Now they're not. Now it just stinks.
Well,
Everything
it's what
sucks.
you've brought up on previous episodes, like post-war fallout.
It's
a real
great
thing.
to see all the skull, what do you call it, the helmets, all the
that was the
spikes
next
from the
thing.
trailer and
Spikes.
everything we saw too. Yeah,
The Stormtrooper helmets on spikes. That clearly shows the Empire
not welcome.
very much not welcome. on
yeah,
Tatooine.
no, of course not.
Which they kind of... Tatooine never really loved the Empire
No,
to
because
begin
they were
with.
like run by the Empire pretty much. Like Mos Eisley completely. Like they even had to like these are not the droids you're looking for. Like
Yeah,
those
there's
droids
checkpoints
weren't
and
even
all that
letting
shit.
them into the town.
Yeah, and the weird thing is like he offered Imperial credits to the pit boss, right? Like
Yeah.
she's like, here, do you want these Imperial credits? And she accepted them. I would have thought, just based off the vibe, that they would
Maybe
have
there's
said no.
some understanding that like
I think they just have no money.
yeah, this money's
too.
still around. Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously on Tatooine, Watto didn't take Republic credits when Qui-Gon offered
Yeah,
them.
that's true.
So, like, the Imperial, like, I mean, they had control over everything. However, there was always kind of that weird vibe with Jabba the Hutt. The Hutts control that planet. So, tough thing. That's why they go there, Tatooine, obviously, in Phantom Menace as well. So, you can see there's still a lot of unrest and a lot of, obviously, distaste at this point for the Empire.
But pretty fucked up of Mando to just tell the mechanic too, like, yeah, don't use droids. I'm like, imagine bringing your car into a
know,
mechanic and saying,
Yeah.
yeah, don't use power tools.
Yeah, I don't like them.
Yeah, just
man,
use
he
only
really-
wrenches. You gotta
Fucking hates droids, this guy.
dude despises droids,
Yeah,
and we can kind of
he-
tell why.
He really hates him.
yeah,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Killed his parents. It's understandable.
He meets your favorite new character, Toro Calican. You gonna get the Funko Pop for Toro?
I'm not gonna get the Funko Pop for this
Wait,
asshole.
he's got the Han Solo, the literary,
He's
what's
got
his
the
name? Harrison Ford ring
earring.
and everything. Yeah.
With his feet up on the table, every line he delivered felt like some Disney Channel Junior thing. Like his voice, I hated. He seemed like some kind of Star Wars jock. The way he was, I didn't understand why Mando vibed with him at all. Like it seemed like he would hear one sentence and be like, "Fuck this guy."
So that was kind of my problem with him is I think that they didn't really get like a kind of distinct vibe for him where either they were going to have him be overly cocky or really like self-conscious and like not unsure of himself. I feel like they did a blend of both.
He felt
and it was
like
conflicting.
a Han Solo Muppet Baby Jr.
But he was like Han Solo.
horrible.
He was totally unsure of himself.
Yeah.
Like cocky, but also not cocky at the same time.
I saw it as though Mando felt he could take advantage of him, which he did. I mean,
He did.
He got
True.
called out. Fennec Shen's like he's calling the shots. He viewed it almost as free
True.
money.
True. I was rooting for him to die the entire episode.
Well, you got your wish.
I did.
We're just that big
I was
time.
happy about
We'll
it.
close that up in a second. So they go kind of on an adventure across the Dune Sea. Looked
I was,
awesome.
by the way, terrified. When I met him, I thought for sure he was just going to be part of the crew. I thought it was going to be Cara Dune,
Yep.
IG-11,
This is one
eventually
of the
when he
guys.
comes back, Nick Nolte's character, and then this guy, El Toro.
El Toro Calican,
Toro.
yeah.
The shots of the Dune Sea, though, when they were going
Very
across
Yeah,
the
cool.
speeder bike.
Awesome.
Those are
So-
cool. I thought the nighttime shots were even cooler.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't really get that too often.
Yeah, we
So I don't
only
think
got
we
it
ever
when,
had.
I
We ever
think
had
when
nighttime?
Anakin was driving
Yeah,
back
sure,
after
yeah.
murdering
After murdering
The murder.
everybody.
women and the
The
children.
murder was
yeah.
at night. The famous murdered all the women and children. Battles Fennec Shan. He sees a dead bounty hunter in a do-bag, which I did
Was
think...
that the pilot? From
No,
the
it
beginning?
wasn't. It
I thought it
wasn't.
was the pilot from the beginning, and I thought for some reason, this is such a weird thought I had, but...
I think that guy had to die.
So did I, but I thought he tried to self-eject, and his parachute was what was holding him onto the do-bag. He looked
He
similar
would
to the pilot, didn't
incinerate.
he?
He would
It did look
incinerate coming into the planet big time.
It did look similar.
I don't know.
Yeah. Regardless,
You know, Star Wars,
dead as
anything
shit.
could happen.
That
he
guy,
was used as a decoy.
that guy
Big
was
dead.
sniped to oblivion. Fennec Shand, that character, has a sniper, which we very rarely see in Star Wars movies.
Yeah.
We've maybe seen it a little bit in the prequels.
Yeah.
But otherwise, mostly just video games.
Yeah.
You never see a
Yeah.
sniper. It was pretty
Scout
fucking cool.
troopers in video games.
What's her name? I always forget her name. The assassin that works with Jango Fett in Clones.
Zam
Zam Wessel.
Zam
Yeah.
Wessel uses a sniper for
Yeah,
a little
she
bit.
does
Shoots
have a
the thing
sniper.
out of Obi-Wan's hands.
Instead
Yeah.
of just shooting Obi-Wan.
Yeah, instead of shooting
That would
him,
be...
which-
I had, you know what's so weird? I had a toy of that thing.
the
I
little,
did too.
the,
That
the
Obi-Wan
worm
could
droid.
hold on
Oh,
to.
yeah.
The worm-
yeah.
the worm-
I was thinking about
what an
that.
absurd assassination attempt that
I was thinking
was.
about that. I was watching it the other day, Attack of the Clones, just the intro, and I was just like, why did I have a toy of that thing? I never played with it.
I mean, here's the thing. That droid, I have the little action figure too. It's the
Yeah.
worst. It opens up the hole, drops in worms.
Yep.
They had no problem trying to bomb her earlier. Drop in a bomb.
Yeah, literally a bomb.
True. Bomb,
or
like-
have that droid be
Yeah.
packed with bombs.
A little
and just
grenade,
explode.
thermal detonator.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, bizarre.
We need to use the worms.
Sam Wessel. Changeling. So, yeah, we see kind of a battle across the dunes with Fennec Shand. He gets hit in the Beskar. They wait her out at night. A very cool
And
bike
they shoot
chase.
flares.
Yeah, the flares are sick.
Flares to throw off her thermal scope
Yep.
or whatever
Yep.
that was. Super cool. That was almost the coolest part of the episode.
I think they do that in Call of Duty too a few times when they try and blind
Oh,
out
yeah.
the thermal scopes by using flares and shit, and that looks so awesome.
I like that. It was something we haven't really seen
It
before.
was like
something
another
different.
cool tactical move by the Mandalorian.
Again,
It
that's
felt
kinda
like when
what-
he was going and stealing Baby Yoda the first time.
Yes, that's what kind of tied it up for you. That's really where I was sold. It's more things that we've envisioned or seen them use, but not in a way that's exciting. Again, the last time we saw a swoop bike, it was Anakin going to kill women and children, Tusken Raiders. Like, this is much... I like this better.
Yes.
Like, this is fucking cool.
And what's cool that happens in this and this happens a lot with Filoni stuff in general, happens a lot in Rebels and Clone Wars, is every time like a question comes up, I'm like, where he said, we're going to wait it out till nighttime and come, I'm like, but she's a thermal scope. Like, she could see you in the dark. And then they immediately explain whatever I'm thinking, and I'm like, this is so satisfying every time.
Yeah.
Filoni knows just how to do
He's
that.
thinking like a Star Wars fan. thinks
Exactly,
The whole
yeah.
time. By the way, we haven't really mentioned this, but in the background of this all, Baby Yo was left on the ship.
Oh, that's a question.
Okay. I didn't even realize
It's
that.
the last
All right,
question.
all
An
right,
audience
fine,
question.
fine. We'll get to it when the questions.
I know you're heated about that.
I'm really heated
not
about
even
it.
a story.
I'm ready to call
character's
Dyfus.
an
Pissed
idiot.
off.
Yeah, I'm ready to call Dyfus.
Yeah. Then Toro, I keep him saying Bo Calican. That's again a reference to the
Fuck
movie.
this guy.
For
He's
sure,
dead.
the
Call
movie
him whatever
Draft
you
Day.
want, yeah.
Yeah, Toro Calican is going to turn on Mando because he doesn't want Mando to use his bike. I don't really blame him.
Yeah.
He's like, go get the do back. So when Mando leaves, Fennec Shand basically says, what are you doing? This guy, he is the guy.
Yeah.
Like, I know I suck, whatever. Let me go meet up with someone, which is key. Well, that's kind of the big question from the episode, the ending. This guy, he has this child, and Toro's like, oh shit, I saw the child.
Yeah.
Like, he's worth a lot more than I am. So he plans to turn. I didn't see him shooting her. I was surprised that he turned on her and shot her.
Very shocking moment for me.
Yeah, no, I didn't really see it either.
Because I was convinced that he was going to uncuff her and she was going to beat the living shit out of him.
Yep, me too.
I was rooting for
that to
either the Mandalorian to know that this conversation was happening. I was like, did he somehow like
put a
camp
transmitter
out
there,
or-
maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that, and he could shoot this guy right before he sets her free, or he would set her free and she would kill him. I was just rooting for him to die in any way possible.
How would the dynamics of that have worked anyway? If he got the do back and one of them is going back in the speeder bike, like one of them is going 1 mile an hour on the speeder bike and the other one's just like clunking along on the do back.
I mean, how long did it take him to get back? He finally caught up. He found out when he got back to the site and saw Fennec Shand's dead. He's
12 hours later.
He's like, oh shit, I got to go back on Dewback now because the bike is gone and so is this guy.
Yeah.
He had to go all the way back on the Dewback. He gets
Was
back.
that asshole just sitting with Baby Yo like
Yeah,
for
for
hours?
Hours and hours, yeah.
He gets back. Old Toro thinks he's slick, thinks he can get away with it. Mando uses a flare. Pretty cool move by him. Again, another tactical
And a very
idea
quick
that works.
death. It was
Yes.
great because we learned very early that this guy was inexperienced. He didn't know what he was doing. So I was worried we were going to get some kind of shootout where the Mandalorian was struggling with
I
it.
said that to myself again. I'm like, I like that. Like,
Yes.
it should be easy for someone this skilled to beat someone who doesn't have any abilities, really. And this guy showed it off the bat. He's got an earring.
Yep,
And that's
fuck that.
about it.
Yeah.
And a lot of money. He has a
Yep.
lot of money.
A lot of money.
Which is another funny question we got in viewers. We'll get to that. So he shoots him, takes Baby Yo back. Baby Yo's fine. I'm never really worried about Baby Yo and Baby Yo falls.
The
like
guy
that.
almost like fell on Baby Yo.
Baby Yo clearly slipped out.
All right, Jeff.
Baby Yo's slick.
We'll talk about it later.
Baby Yo's smart.
He's smart. He used the force to bump
He's
himself.
slippery.
They do that all the time.
He's a slippery
Luke did
guy.
that in Last Jedi.
That's what I'm
Caught
saying,
himself.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Baby Yo's slippery. And then he gives the money to Amy Sedaris' character. A ton of money. Just ripped it off the belt. of Toro, gets in the ship, flies away, and it ends with this, and we'll roll into audience questions. You see, it cuts to black. I thought it was the end. And then you see Boots and someone walking up to the dead Finnick Shand who has, it was causing a fob, a bounty fob to go off. So someone is holding a bounty fob, and it's beeping, and he's clearly there, he or she, we don't know who it is there trying to find Finnick, and that's when the episode cuts to black. We don't know who it is. We have no idea. Lots of speculation. So the number one viewer question, obviously, from many, many people, Reddit, Twitter, who was walking up to Finnick at the end?
Yeah. I think being the cape, being the boots, being the tracking fob, whoever it is, they want you to think it's Boba Fett. It's the obvious one. It's on Tatooine. We had to be on Tatooine for a reason, right? Other than just fan service. Because this show hasn't really proved itself to be like, all right, let's do fan service exclusively. Like, it's kind of about giving us a taste of that, but with new, fresh stories. They want you to think it's Boba. We know that, I think, Bill Burr's character is supposed to be in the next episode.
Yep.
Yeah,
So I'm
Bill Burr
sort
doesn't
of
have a
like,
cape,
by
I
the
don't
way,
think.
this is Chapter 5. Now that I'm looking at it. This definitely is Chapter 5. We had 4 episodes. We're halfway through.
We're on
the
Right.
season.
65.
So this graphic's been wrong, but it is Chapter 5.
Well-
Bill Burr is in Chapter 6. That's
We
the
had it.
tease for that. I think it might be Bill Burr's character.
Bill Burr's. I think that makes more
Does
sense.
Bill Burr have a cape when we see him, though?
No, he doesn't.
He
'Cause he has the
doesn't.
thing over his shoulder.
He doesn't because he has the thing over his shoulder, but I think it might be misdirection. I mean, unless it straight up is Boba Fett.
I don't
this
think it's
has been
Boba
the
Fett. Let
best
me get
kept
that out of the
secret.
way.
I don't think it is.
Then I think it's
Boba
Bill
Fett.
Burr's.
That's the big speculation. No, it is Boba Fett.
I think it's for a couple reasons. I think number one, if you're Boba Fett and the Hutts are dead and you escape the Sarlacc pit somehow, you're obviously leaving Tatooine. And we know that the Guild doesn't
Yeah,
operate
true.
on Tatooine. They make
Especially
that
5 years later.
They
Why
make
would
it
he be there?
very clear right in the beginning. The Guild no longer operates at all on Tatooine, so
Which
he's not
he
staying
definitely. Well, I guess he
had
has
the
to be
fob.
part of the Guild because
He had the fob, and he
Why
wouldn't have
would
the fob
he be part of
otherwise.
the Guild? Boba Fett seems like a lone wolf guy.
That's another thing. I think he wouldn't have a fob regardless because he's a lone wolf guy that gets hired out by big wigs
Yeah.
directly. He doesn't need like this middleman like fucking Zillow or no, not Zillow. What's the monster fucking like job finder to give him jobs?
Oh yeah,
He's well known enough.
Yeah, he's not going on Indeed.com.
Yeah, definitely doesn't need that.
But do you get what I'm saying?
What about
Like,
Giancarlo Esposito's character?
I don't think he's a bounty hunter either. He's a Moff, right?
No, yeah,
Yeah, but
he's
but
not a
she-
Does he
bounty
have a
hunter.
fob?
But she clearly was going to meet up with someone,
Yeah,
and she is the hit.
that's true.
Is she the Imperial hit though? Is like she's someone working with the Empire or
maybe,
the
yeah.
artist formerly known as the Empire. She was pretty like suited and buttoned up.
True.
Where like I could see the fact that her
And
rendezvous
he does
was
wear a
with
cape.
him.
We know for a
He
fact
definitely
he
wears a cape. Yep.
We've seen in the teases too. We've seen the Dark Troopers or the
Yep.
what do they call them?
Death Troopers.
Death
Yep.
Troopers from Rogue
The black
One.
armor, yeah.
We see them, but they looks like they're on that planet because she mentions, I know what happened on Navarro. You mentioned before. We get a
Yeah.
name for that first planet where Mando
Shout out Dave.
gets meets Werner Herzog and all those characters and Griff Karga, the Carl Weathers character. So we see the Death Troopers at some point on the ground. So we know that Giancarlo Esposito's Moff character, he boots on the ground at some point for him.
Yeah. I think it could be him. I think it could be Bill Burr's character. I
'Cause he
think
has a
it could be someone we don't know. So
Yeah.
maybe someone completely different. I saw someone on the Star Wars Reddit already bring up Cad Bane. I don't know how that would work in the timeline.
That'd
Does
be
he
so sick.
survive?
I would love for him to
Clone
be
Wars?
here somewhere.
The tough thing about
I
Cad
don't
Bane,
think
I think Cad Bane is alive.
His cool ass hat and stuff.
I'm
Cool ass
going to
bounty
throw it up
hunter.
on screen right now if we're right or wrong. If Cad Bane is alive. Cad Bane was a cool animated character.
I don't know if
That's
that
a
would work.
weird one just to throw in, though.
And I don't know if that would work.
It
live
would be a
action.
weird one to throw in, and I don't think that's who it is. I don't think it's Boba Fett. I think everyone is going to think it's Boba Fett. Everyone's going to be like, he's back.
Hondo Onaka or whatever, the pirate guy.
Yeah. But I think like eventually Boba will be back in this series.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about it before. Remember when it got announced that the guy that wrote like 310 to Yuma was doing a Boba Fett thing? The guy that did Mangold. The guy that did Logan.
Yep, and Ford vs. Ferrari.
And then that just disappeared out of nowhere, and we heard it's not happening anymore. Does that line up with them filming this and then being like, wait, no, don't do a fucking Boba Fett show. We're bringing Boba
touching
back.
up on him. Yeah.
I just do think we will see Boba Fett at some point in this, but this wasn't the one for me. And I
don't think it's now,
I
yeah.
have leaned to what you said. I do think that they want you to think it's Boba Fett, maybe initially.
Yes.
I can agree with that.
People
I
are
just don't
already
remember-
analyzing the noise that his boots make, by the way.
That's smart.
I saw people analyzing the audio files from the original trilogy when he's walking around, and the audio file from the end
I
of
mean,
this
what does he
episode.
have? The only fucking pair of those boots?
I don't know. But that's Star Wars fans for you. That's like the epitome of Star Wars fans.
Hondo's another interesting one, by the
Yeah.
way. Hondo is used a lot. This is crazy. I love this how Easter eggy and deep and referencey we're getting in the Disney parks.
Yes.
Hondo is a major player.
He's
in
the
Disney
part
parks.
of the Millennium Falcon ride, right?
So he's a character that we'll see, I think, at some point because he's a pirate as a bounty hunter.
Maybe a bounty hunter from the original trilogy that we didn't expect to see.
Bosk, yeah.
Maybe it's Bosk.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Dengar.
Dengar, yeah, that would be wild.
Dengar's
I don't
a
know.
long cape.
Dengar he does have a very long cape, but it's white, I think, right?
Yeah, but it is
maybe got a new one.
It is a little darker, I think, in that last shot.
It's true.
I don't
Shout out
know.
Dengar.
I initially thought it was Giancarlo Esposito's character. That was my.
I think that's a good guess.
That was my first guess, but I like the idea that maybe they're trying to get you to think Boba Fett because Boba
Yeah.
Fett is the first person most people said.
Yeah.
At F. Woot said, "What if Yoda saved Mandalorian?" This is what I referenced earlier. People were saying, "No, we don't think it's Obi-Wan. We think it could be Yoda, and that's why Mandalorian has such an affinity to Baby Yo because he
he's
was
like
saved
the
by
only
Yoda."
other of your species I've seen is
Yeah.
that. I don't hate it.
I don't hate
that
it
theory
either.
at all either, yeah.
I don't hate it.
I would mark the fuck out if in the last episode, like, they finally show you that shot. And I am of the belief that Yoda in Attack of the Clones using the lightsaber flipping around like a pinball, I'm not the biggest fan. I
One of
loved
my
it when
least
I was a
favorite
kid,
things.
but I'm just like, it looks so bizarre. If we see it, though, in this, and they do it right, where he's, like, standing there with a lightsaber in one hand, and he's like, let's go, or go, we must.
Destroys that super battle droid.
That would be awesome.
I
If he jumps up on the shoulder of it.
won't claim this theory because it's not mine. I'll stick with Obi-Wan,
Okay.
but I like this theory
I would
a
like
lot.
either. I would like either.
I was like, when I first saw these last week, because when we first released our last episode, people just kept saying that. I was like, I kind of buy into that.
I would
a little
honestly like any Jedi. I would mark out for Kit Fisto.
Yeah, Metro, right?
Well, he's
Mando,
dead.
he's
He's
big time
dead.
dead.
Kit
Yeah.
Fisto, big
Mando, I feel like Mando's a pretty hard dude, and any random baby, I don't think would set him off into like, I need
Yeah.
to stop what I'm doing and save this baby. So that does make sense.
Yeah. Well, is Kit Fisto dead by the time Mando's a kid?
By the time he's,
Because when he's a kid, it's
probably
not
not.
post-Empire,
Yeah, probably
so maybe
not.
not.
That's true. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe
we
Kit
like
Fisto.
Kid Fisto.
I don't know.
Phil
how that would
Lamar,
line
for
up.
What about Longhead? Ki Adamundi?
Ki Ayamundi, yeah.
Yeah.
One of
Maybe
the
him.
all-time greatest Jedi.
What about the droid attack on Navarro?
Yeah, right?
on the Wookiees? I can hear that in my head.
Yeah.
His story is a sad one because he's a really cool character and they just couldn't really flesh him out in the movies.
Yes.
And they just murked him.
He's got
The
that.
clones murked him
They
on
had
that snow
that-
planet.
He's like one of the smartest Jedi. Look at that big ass
big ass head,
He's
yeah.
got that little ponytail at the top.
User on Reddit, JDTCU, said, was Toro Calican a trust fund baby?
Because he
seems
had
like it.
all the money.
Did not
Probably
give a,
was, and he was
didn't
an
give
asshole.
a shit about money, and he
Yeah.
had a ton of it.
Which
Yeah.
makes you think that maybe that's going to come into play later. Because
could.
they wouldn't just kind of back up that story and then not flesh that out, I think.
Yeah, and like he's like, oh come on, I'm trying to get in with the guild.
Yep.
Come on, bro, I got to
He's
make
like
the
trying to
guild
get into
like
a
me.
frat. Yeah.
He's like a rich kid trying to be an adventurer, and like this is his way in. He has the money; that doesn't matter to him. It's just he wants
He's
the reputation.
Eduardo Saverin from Social Network trying to get punched
Yes.
by the
Yeah.
Phoenix
Yeah,
Club.
fuck
at
that.
Harvard,
Exactly, yeah.
And then user Magic Treehouse Stan said, why does he always leave Mandalorian Baby Yo unattended? You can
Yes.
now speak your mind.
What in the world is this guy's problem? It's gotten out in the galaxy that The Mandalorian has this, huge hit, and it's gotten out that it's a child.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Finnick Shand.
Finnick from the Hunger Games fucking said it.
Yeah.
That's right.
She said it. She's like, he has a child. This guy said, I immediately, he went, got the child. The other, the lady, the mechanic, rubbing his ears, rubbing his head, all this stuff. He's a smart character. Why does he keep doing
At
this?
least close the fucking ship.
You literally, he
He
almost
closed
got
the door.
sniped.
He closed the door on Baby Yoda. I think that he thought that
Yeah.
he could lock Baby Yoda in there, but
Why would he think that? Because in the last episode, he was like, stay put, and Baby Yoda followed him.
yeah, I guess he just thought he
This
could.
guy-
He
this
had to put
guy-
he needed to put baby locks on the Razor Crest.
I
That's
love
very clear.
The Mandalorian. I'm
Yes.
in on him. We're episode 5, and I love him. Baby Yoda, I love him way more. You need
Yeah,
to
you gotta
keep an eye
protect
on this
Baby
kid.
Yo.
You need
Protect
to
at
protect
any
Baby
cost.
I mean, you're only alive because of him.
Baby,
Literally, yeah.
Baby-proof this ship.
He needs, and I've seen a lot of fan art. He needs one of them Alan from The Hangover things.
Yeah,
does.
right.
He needs the front pack for
Yeah.
Baby Yo.
Yeah, he
I've
does.
seen
The baby
there's-
Bjorn.
There's
Yeah.
some fan art too where it looks like almost like a what's that cryo chamber or something, and it's like
Death
lit
Stranding
up.
with Baby
Yeah, it's
Yo.
like lit up like yellow. It looks super awesome. He needs one of those things.
Beskar Baby Bjorn.
Or get another carriage. How hard are those?
How
to
hard-
find?
yeah, right.
People are probably having babies in this galaxy all the time. Everyone's fucking in the galaxy.
That's true.
Come on.
Especially now with just everything.
Especially
that's all
Tusken
there is
Raiders.
to do.
Kind of an interesting thing to note, though. Such a big galaxy, you rarely see babies.
Very rarely,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very rarely see babies.
Like baby pigeons. Never see a baby pigeon.
Yeah.
It's a fact. Just blew Robbie's mind right
True.
there.
I don't think we can get too much into predictions. We already talked about the big one, but I think again, I'm moving the goalpost. This episode did have space. I predicted space. A lot more space next episode.
More space.
I think because we know we see Bill Burr next episode, and we know that his character is on ships. Yep. We see him battling on what looks like an older Imperial type ship. Maybe he goes around the corner with like those
and wasn't
shoulder
there
blasters.
That one shot from the trailer where it was like the back of Bill Burr's head and there was a Twi'lek?
Yeah. Yep. That's right.
So we're gonna meet new people, maybe a new crew of bounty hunters. Maybe they're all part of the same crew.
I think we're gonna see Gina Carano's character again next episode.
That'd be
I would
cool.
assume.
Love that.
I would assume we see her again.
IG-11. Maybe we get IG-11 again.
Yeah.
More Taika.
I'm really fiending for him.
Yes.
I think it ramps up in space and things begin to pick up in a very, I think, heavier, more. Things have more consequences.
I'm hoping they tie everything together more. This felt like almost a distraction episode for me, where if we didn't see this episode at all and we skipped to the next one, I feel like we didn't miss anything other than maybe the reveal at the end. Maybe I'm wrong on that, though.
But here's the thing. I think it's required, though, for this story to add a different conflict other than just you have the child.
You're running, and that's what I was about to say. We've had 2 episodes in a row where it's just him running away with the baby and just like him trying to deal with everyone who's chasing him. I think that this is maybe a break episode. Like it's not just him running.
That's what it
We're
felt
gonna get
like.
something
But I also
different.
think it sparks up. That's why I firmly believe that Giancarlo Esposito's character is involved somehow with Fennec Shand, because I think you now need to pull in that other Imperial side of things rather than it's just him being chased by bounty hunters.
And there's a much larger picture maybe behind this episode.
I think this sparked the larger picture.
All right.
Maybe some First Order shit we don't really know.
That's what I'm down for, yeah.
Yeah, and I think we're still going to get, and this is what I predicted I think last time, but I still think we're going to get something similar to Force Awakens, that like sort of stealing ship where like you capture other ships with a bigger ship.
I think next episode, ship gets the ship.
Ship gets the ship.
Ship gets the ship.
But
That's
then
the official prediction
Then
from
the ship has Bill Burr and the Twi'lek and whoever else is on board.
Yes.
That's it. That's it for Mandalorian episode 5.
Five.
I'm putting a graphic. Here's the thing. This says 6. I superimposed 5 over.
I was gonna say maybe you could superimpose.
just gonna-
that. It's like the special edition. Like if the graphics aren't bad, this is Jeff's original,
We'll put a do back
vision
over it
for the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Mandalorian, the next chapter we're going to talk about next week, which is the week before Star Wars Episode 9 comes out, The Rise of Skywalker. Just a heads up. So our next episode will be next Friday, but the one after that will be even sooner than that.
It'll be like next Wednesday.
Like a Tuesday or
'cause it comes out on
Wednesday.
Tuesday,
Yeah, Wednesday the 18th.
And a sneak preview for the new one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
and
is
then
awesome.
The Mandalorian has a sneak preview for Episode 9 attached to it.
And that's
2 from now.
2 from now. Okay.
Yep. So we have Mandalorian Episode 6 next week, and then on Monday we're gonna have Watchmen Episode 8.
Yep.
Huge.
Big time there.
Huge. If you're not
Episode
in,
8?
if you're not in by now, get in.
I'm getting all
Come
fucked
on.
up now. Episode 8.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You're right on that
Watchmen, different. I mean, I don't know. I just fast forward to Watchmen now.
Yeah. Just
now.
do it.
Always let us know below what you think about the episode. Predictions. Give us your thoughts. Who was that last character? And if you're on YouTube, hit the thumbs up, hit the like button, hit the bell icon, and subscribe, please. We'll keep dropping these until they run out, and then maybe some more fun stuff after that. For Robbie, KenJac, I'm Jeff Lowe. Talk to you next time.